This man loves you deeply, but he's still holding on to another woman. What happens next will shock you, Archangel Michael says. What your heart has sensed in whispers is not just suspicion, it is a spiritual alarm. He loves you, truly, undeniably, but he hasn't let go of the other woman who still haunts his past and shadows your present. Their bond is not of love anymore, it's a mixture of guilt, confusion, and unfinished emotional business. He watches you with admiration, speaks to you with kindness, and even holds your hand with a trembling heart, but there's a name he doesn't speak out loud. In the corners of his mind, in the silence between conversations, she lingers. You are not wrong to feel like you're sharing his soul with someone else. There are moments he looks away during laughter, and it's not because he's distracted, it's because he remembers. Her presence still drifts around him like invisible perfume, and your spirit has caught the scent. You feel it in your bones even when he denies it with words. Comment now if this message is already touching your heart. He has tried to move on, but he's stuck between two timelines, his past with her and his possible future with you. The truth is, he is in love with you, but part of his love is frozen in memories with someone who doesn't even deserve to still have that power. And yet, somehow, she still does. Type Amen to get blessing 335. Archangel Michael says, the other woman is aware of you. She knows your name, your aura, and the way he looks at you like your sunrise. That's why she's not letting go, because she senses what you mean to him and it terrifies her. She doesn't love him anymore, not in the way you do. But she hates the idea of him finding peace without her. So she plays silent games, triggering memories, feeding his nostalgia with just enough attention to keep him bound. You are not the problem, you are the answer he's too scared to choose. Because if he chooses you, he has to surrender everything that once gave him comfort, even if it hurt him too. And he hasn't gathered the courage yet to burn that old bridge. Type Amen to get blessing 417. You've seen the signs, hidden messages, emotional withdrawal, a flicker in his eyes when he hears a name he claims means nothing. You've forgiven without clarity, hoping time would seal the wound. But time cannot heal a scar that keeps being reopened behind your back. The angels have watched you cry for someone who says he loves you but hasn't shown you the full truth. It's not your fault, he's caught between healing and holding on. And you deserve more than being someone's half-love. He dreams of you. He imagines a future with you. But he still checks her last message and wonders if she'll call again. Type Amen to get blessing 302. Archangel Michael says, the universe is preparing a crossroad for him, and a test for you. Soon, a moment of truth will arrive. Either he will choose full devotion to you, or the shadows of his past will drag him away. You will receive a sign in the next few days, maybe a delayed message, maybe a conversation he avoids, or even a slip of the tongue. Don't ignore it. You are being guided to see with clarity, not just with emotion. He's not a bad man. He's a broken man who hasn't fully healed. But broken doesn't mean harmless, and your spirit cannot afford to be collateral damage for someone else's unfinished love story. Type Amen to get blessing 548. His love for you is real, but so is the grip she still has over his emotional memory. He compares your softness to her coldness, your laughter to her silence, your presence to her absence. And though you win in every comparison, he still fears losing even the memory of what they had. There will be a shift around the next full moon. You may notice a sudden silence from him, or a sudden need to confess something. Prepare your heart not just for answers, but for choices you will have to make. If he finally tells you the truth, it will sting, but it will set you free. Type Amen to get blessing 194. Comment if you've been sensing this emotional split, because it means your soul is awake. Archangel Michael says, a woman who holds on to a man's past is not his destiny, she is his test. And right now, he is failing it. But your grace, your strength, and your boundaries will become the fire that forces him to confront his loyalty. You will not have to fight her. The angels will deal with her in silence. Your only task is to stay in alignment with your truth, because pretending you don't notice this energy war is spiritual self-betrayal. She is watching you, too. She senses the light in you. That's why she still texts him late, hoping he'll stumble again. Type Amen to get blessing 881. He is torn, yes, but soon he will have to make a choice so clear there will be no more delay. This isn't just about romance. This is about your soul path, your emotional safety, your divine calling. You cannot wait for him forever in a place where your worth is questioned. You've cried enough in silence. The angels have counted your tears. Heaven has already set a deadline. What happens next will depend on how strong you remain when he finally admits the whole truth. Archangel Michael says, at exactly 11:11 on a recent day, your name came up in a conversation between him and her. It wasn't by accident, it was a spiritual trigger. She asked him, "Do you still think about me?" and he hesitated before answering. That hesitation is not your fault. It's the emotional chain she keeps wrapped around his memory. She's not asking because she misses him, she's asking because she knows you're close to unlocking the part of him she once owned. This is spiritual warfare disguised as romance. Your relationship is being challenged by a soul that cannot let go, not because of love, but because of control. And the angels are now stepping in to give you clarity before you sacrifice your worth. Type Amen to get blessing 982. The divine realm has been observing how much you've forgiven silently, how much love you've poured into someone still healing from an emotional ghost. You've been patient, kind, and hopeful, but your light is dimming trying to rescue someone who hasn't even decided if he's done looking backward. You can't be both the healer and the wounded. You can't be his safe place while he secretly keeps her voice in his head. And heaven didn't craft you to be a second option in someone else's unresolved heart game. The truth is, she doesn't want him to move on. She doesn't want him happy without her. She doesn't love him, but she doesn't want you to have him either. Type Amen to get blessing 729. You might notice changes in his tone. He becomes more distant after she calls. He acts strange after checking his phone. His hugs feel warm, but distracted, and your intuition screams, something is not right. This is because energy never lies. Words can deceive, but spiritual vibration always reveals hidden alliances. And right now, his soul is in conflict, and your spirit is feeling every part of it. Soon, he will be faced with an emotional collapse, a confrontation with both his past and present. If he chooses you, she will try to make him feel guilty. If he chooses her, he will lose the only real love he's ever had, you. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Comment if you felt your soul being pulled in two directions because of him. Archangel Michael says, she is preparing something. A subtle move. A quiet emotional attack. She may even try to reach out to you indirectly, through posts, comments, or mutual connections. She wants you to feel insecure. She plays games of timing, showing up only when she senses he's pulling closer to you. But you're not here for games, you're here for purpose. And heaven is declaring, you will not be moved by manipulation. Your presence is awakening things in him he's never faced. You're triggering his conscience. You are the reason he started questioning what he truly wants. But love can't bloom in divided loyalty. Type Amen to get blessing 777. She wears perfume he used to like. She shares pictures from old memories. She posts lyrics that remind him of their past. But all of it is a trap. A spiritual illusion to keep him bound. The angelic realm is setting up divine interruption. There will be a moment he will see her clearly for what she is, a lesson, not a partner. A past, not a purpose. A noise, not a future. And when that moment comes, he will have to act fast. The window for redemption won't stay open long. Type Amen to get blessing 666. You are not here to compete. You are not here to beg. You are here to be loved without confusion. And the angels are not blind to your tears, they are recording every one as a seed of justice. She doesn't know your full spiritual authority. She doesn't know the favor over your life. And when she realizes that no matter what she tries, she cannot dim your soul's light, she will break. Because no matter what he says, you are the one he feels peace with. Type Amen to get blessing 555. There is a divine deadline approaching. He cannot hold both energies forever. Heaven won't allow you to suffer in silence much longer. This situation is about to erupt into truth. Either he will run to you with full surrender, or the angels will remove him and replace him with someone who carries no leftover attachments. You were not made to carry someone else's emotional clutter. Your name is being written in the book of emotional justice. And soon, it will be read aloud. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Comment now if you're ready to stop being the one who waits in silence and start being the one who walks in divine favor. Archangel Michael says, there was a moment he almost blocked her, but he didn't. He hovered over the option, heart racing, wondering if it was the right time. But something stopped him, a memory, a voice, a weakness. That weakness is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of his fear. The fear of what will be left if he truly chooses to be free. You are not in competition. The battle is not between you and her, it's between his old self and the man he's trying to become. And that battle is now reaching its breaking point. Type Amen to get blessing 331. She sent a photo recently, maybe not directly, maybe through a post or story meant for him to see. And he saw it. He looked at it longer than he admits. Not because he misses her, but because he still doesn't understand why he tolerated her so long. You've noticed his sudden mood swings, haven't you? How he pulls closer for a day, then withdraws the next. That's the emotional tug-of-war he's trapped in, and it's bleeding into your peace. But Archangel Michael wants you to know this: you are not the one breaking him. You are the one giving him a lifeline. But even lifelines have expiration dates. Type Amen to get blessing 313. A dream came to him recently, one that featured both you and her. In the dream, you walked away while she laughed. He woke up disturbed, heart pounding, but didn't tell you. He's scared it was a warning, a glimpse into the result of his indecision. And maybe it was. Maybe it was heaven reminding him that love, when not protected, will not stay. That even divine connections can be broken if not honored. He's scared to lose you, but fear alone doesn't build a relationship. He must choose you with courage. Not just in private, but in every room she ever had a voice in. Type Amen to get blessing 919. Comment if you've ever felt like you were spiritually fighting for someone who won't fight for themselves. He thinks about your patience, your loyalty, how you stayed even when things didn't feel right. But he's used to being loved while half loving back, and now, the universe is calling him out on it. She knows it. She's waiting for him to fall again. Her energy is like bait, charming, hollow, laced with nostalgia. She doesn't want him back, not really. She just wants proof she can still pull him. And if he bites that hook again, heaven won't let you suffer the consequences. A divine exit is being prepared. If he doesn't rise, you will. Type Amen to get blessing 1010. Archangel Michael says, in the next 7 days, expect a test. It might come in the form of him withdrawing suddenly, or her name coming up again. or your spirit feeling heavy for no logical reason. Don't panic. That's not failure, it's exposure. The angels are peeling back the layers so you can see who still lives in his heart. He won't be able to hide anymore. Not from you. Not from himself. There is something he's been hiding. A truth you need. It's about a conversation they recently had. One that crossed a boundary. One he regrets, but hasn't confessed yet. Type Amen to get blessing 212. He will wrestle with himself. He may even become cold to you, not because he doesn't care, but because shame is creeping in. He knows you don't deserve this confusion. He knows he's standing at a sacred doorway and hesitating. But your soul is not made to live in uncertainty. And soon, your angels will bring it all to light. Not to destroy you, but to give you freedom. Freedom from guessing. Freedom from waiting. You were never meant to beg a man to love you purely. Type Amen to get blessing 554. The other woman senses her time is up. That's why she's become more active. She will show up in small digital ways, posting things meant to remind him of moments they shared. But don't be shaken. Because while she's playing games, heaven is moving mountains. You are not her equal. You are her replacement. There's a storm coming, but you won't be in the center of it. He will. Because now he must decide, her ghost or your grace. Type Amen to get blessing 366. Comment now if you're ready for the divine truth to show itself. Archangel Michael says, you will overhear something soon. Or see a message not meant for your eyes. It may be subtle, but it will confirm everything your heart suspected. That's not betrayal, it's divine confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not insecure. You are intuitive. And the heavens have decided that your clarity is overdue. He may cry when you confront him. He may beg for time. But understand this, time will not fix what truth avoids. And you will have to be stronger than your feelings. Type Amen to get blessing 844. He will say, she doesn't mean anything. But your soul will know the difference between words and peace. He will try to protect you from pain, not realizing the pain came from his silence, not her presence. You may need to step back. To breathe. To rebuild the walls around your spirit that he let crumble in confusion. But don't worry, God is standing behind you now. You are not losing a man, you are regaining your power. Archangel Michael says, at 2:14 a.m., 3 nights ago, she texted him something short. Just a sentence. But it stirred something in him that he thought was gone. And you, even in your sleep, shifted suddenly as if your soul felt the storm brewing. She's not back to claim him. She's back to test him. And this test is your test, too. Because the moment he replied, even with hesitation, a spiritual shift occurred, and you're now standing in the center of a love triangle disguised as a soul lesson. Type Amen to get blessing 888. You've been the anchor in his storm, the calm after every chaos. But he's still emotionally entertaining someone who once shattered him, and that's not love, that's trauma recycling itself. Your light is healing, but even healing can't reach someone who keeps reopening their wounds with someone else's memory. She's not gone. She's watching, waiting, testing his loyalty by reminding him who he used to be. But you are not in love with the man he was, you are holding space for the man he could become. Still, you are not required to break while he figures it out. Type Amen to get blessing 331. Comment now if you felt a shift in his energy without any clear explanation. The angels saw her message. They saw how he stared at it. How he tried not to smile. Not because he's in love with her, but because she still has a piece of his weakness in her grip. He deleted the message, but the energy lingers. And now you feel heavy, anxious, drained. That's not random. That's your spirit sensing spiritual interference. This isn't about jealousy, it's about alignment. You cannot walk in peace if someone you love keeps opening portals of confusion. Type Amen to get blessing 772. He remembers how she left. How she humiliated him. How she doubted him when he needed love the most. But instead of closing the door, he left it cracked, and now the past is creeping back in, threatening everything he's building with you. The most dangerous thing about unresolved pasts is that they always return when the present becomes serious. And your love is serious. That's why she showed up again. But the angels are not silent. They've seen your tears, your restraint, your loyalty. And they will not allow you to drown in someone else's indecision. Type Amen to get blessing 611. Archangel Michael says, in the next 72 hours, a truth will surface. It might come through a confession. It might be a social media trace. It might be something someone close to you let slip without realizing it. When it comes, do not doubt it. Do not gaslight yourself. This is your confirmation. You've been strong long enough. The angels know you've kept quiet to protect the bond. But silence isn't strength when it suppresses your spirit. And you, divine soul, were not born to shrink for someone who hasn't yet grown into their honesty. Type Amen to get blessing 555. There will be a moment where he chooses to fully face you. His eyes may shake. His voice may break. But the words will reveal what you already knew. He was emotionally cheating, not in action, but in attention. He will say, I didn't think it mattered, it was just a conversation. But you mattered. And anything that shifts his love from you, even for a second, matters. He will beg for another chance. He will say he didn't mean it. But the angels will give you the strength to decide. Do you want to keep loving a man who's still haunted, or release him and finally breathe? Type Amen to get blessing 313. Comment if you're ready for your emotional freedom, even if the truth hurts first. You deserve someone who deletes every trace of the past the moment you walk into their life. You deserve someone who chooses you without hesitation, without ghost shadows, without comparing your love to a memory. She still holds his guilt. You carry his hope. But he has to choose one, and time is running out. If he chooses her, let him go. If he chooses you, make sure it's all of him, not just the part that's lonely, not just the part that's broken, but the part that's ready to build something sacred. Type Amen to get blessing 424. Archangel Michael says, you are about to receive a message from the divine that confirms everything. A dream. A sign. A voice that says, you were right. Don't ignore it. This is your spiritual evidence. She will try one more time. Her final attempt. One last emotional trap disguised as checking in. But you won't be shaken this time. Because now, you see everything. And what once confused you will now empower you. Archangel Michael says, her final move is unfolding now, and it's not loud, it's subtle. She's not fighting for love, she's fighting for relevance. She senses that she is becoming invisible to him, and she cannot bear the idea of being forgotten while you are being chosen. So she does what she does best, she plays on guilt. She reminds him of promises, of shared struggles, of what could have been, if only they had more time. But time never ran out for them, love did. And he knows that deep down. Still, guilt is a powerful manipulator when paired with emotional confusion. And that's where the real war begins, not between you and her, but between him and his own inner clarity. Type Amen to get blessing 377. She recently mentioned something only the two of them shared, perhaps a song, a memory, or a what if that poked at his heart. And it worked. It slowed his progress with you. He began second-guessing his healing. Not because he loves her, but because she stirred an old wound. But you noticed it, didn't you? The way he went quiet that day. The way his voice flattened, his responses dulled, his hugs felt less anchored. He's spiritually disconnected, not because you've done something wrong, but because he's battling a ghost she keeps resurrecting. The angels are furious. They've protected this bond, poured blessings into your hands, and now they see it slipping, not because of evil, but because of weakness. And they are ready to intervene. Type Amen to get blessing 828. Comment now if you've been feeling his love but sensing someone else's presence lurking. She sent him a picture last night. Not inappropriate, but personal. One meant to remind him of who he was when he was with her. It made him nostalgic, not for her, but for the version of himself that didn't know better. That version is dead now. You helped bury it. You helped build the stronger version of him. And now she wants to dig it back up, because she doesn't recognize the man he's becoming without her. But Archangel Michael says, you were not sent into his life to watch him regress. You were sent to elevate him into purpose. Type Amen to get blessing 911. She's going to try one last thing. A meeting. An invitation. A secret catch-up, just to talk. She wants to test if she still has a piece of his obedience. And if he says yes, even with good intentions, it will shatter you in ways you haven't prepared for. The angels are whispering, pay attention. Watch for the signs. You will know when this attempt comes. And if he hides it from you, that will be all the answer you need. You cannot protect a man from a woman he still emotionally respects. Type Amen to get blessing 212. Archangel Michael says, you have two choices now. 1. To wait and pray that he grows bold enough to shut every door she opens. Or 2. To walk away until he learns that love is not a playground of confusion. He may cry. He may plead. But the truth will sit in the air, heavy and undeniable. He had a chance to choose peace, and he flirted with chaos. The divine is watching. Not to punish, but to correct. Not to destroy, but to deliver justice to a soul like yours who has loved without hesitation. Type Amen to get blessing 606. Comment if you're done carrying the weight of two people's healing on your own. You are not second best. You are not his escape. You are not the woman he turns to while emotionally checking on another. You are his destiny, or nothing at all. And if he can't see that, the angels will remove him for you. You don't have to fight anymore. You've cried. You've begged God in silence. You've waited for clarity. And now the heavens are rising on your behalf. Prepare for the shift. Because soon, he will either stand beside you fully, or vanish like a shadow that wasn't meant to stay. Type Amen to get blessing 717. Archangel Michael says, before this week ends, he will receive a spiritual jolt. Something will happen to wake him up, perhaps a dream, a confrontation, or even you going silent. He will panic. He will search for your energy. That's when he will truly feel what he's about to lose. And in that moment, the other woman won't satisfy him. Her words won't comfort him. Her attention won't anchor him. Because he'll realize, it was never her. It was always you. Archangel Michael says, last night, while you were asleep, he stared at his phone longer than usual. Her name flashed on the screen, just once. No message. No call. Just a notification from an old thread she reopened, one he promised he'd deleted. He didn't reply. But he didn't block her either. And that hesitation, that is where the betrayal lives. You don't need to catch him in the act. You've already caught the shift in his energy, the cold pauses, the delayed answers, the way he holds you but his mind drifts. That is the evidence you need. The angels have seen enough. Type Amen to get blessing 434. You've been more than patient. You've swallowed your truth, hoping he'd eventually speak his. But instead, he keeps tiptoeing between honesty and avoidance. He tells you he loves you, yet still gives her just enough silence to keep her interested. That's not loyalty. That's convenience. And your soul was not sent here to be convenient for a man who can't choose you fully. The spiritual realm is preparing to deliver something divine to you, but first, a cleaning must occur. A separation. A revelation. A moment that either destroys the illusion or forces him to finally confess what you've known all along. Type Amen to get blessing 727. Comment now if your heart has been holding on while your spirit begs for release. She's not strong enough to take him away. But she is cunning enough to keep him distracted. And you're not fighting her, you're fighting the version of him that still responds to manipulation with curiosity. That version of him needs to die. And it can't die while you keep tolerating his emotional loyalty to a woman who already proved she doesn't love him. He needs to hit rock bottom, not because you hate him, but because that's the only way he will stop standing at two doors. And when he falls, he must feel the weight of your absence, not just the softness of your forgiveness. Type Amen to get blessing 333. He may reach for you with tears in his eyes. But understand, regret is not the same as change. Just because he's sorry doesn't mean he's ready. And just because he cries doesn't mean he's healed. Your forgiveness has delayed your freedom long enough. The angels are moving now. And if you stay still, they will carry you out of this triangle, out of confusion, out of emotional exhaustion, out of spiritual self-sacrifice. They will carry you into something real. But you must be willing to let him face his storm without you shielding him from the thunder. Type Amen to get blessing 242. Archangel Michael says, her spell is breaking, but only if you stop being the bridge between his past and his promise. Right now, your love is still giving him soft landing after he tiptoes through her traps. She sends a message. He feels guilty. He doesn't reply, but he stares. Then he holds you, hoping the guilt disappears. That's not love. That's spiritual disloyalty disguised as emotional confusion. You weren't created to be his peace and his secret at the same time. Type Amen to get blessing 585. He knows you're the one. That's what makes this so tragic. He's not unsure about you, he's scared of stepping out of the past. And until he chooses bravery over comfort, you will continue to feel like you're sharing a bed with a man who's only halfway awake. But God has already whispered your name into the future. A future that doesn't involve fighting ghosts. A future that doesn't include checking his phone at 2 a.m. to see who he's still entertaining in silence. Your breakthrough is already written. But first, you must step out of the cycle. Type Amen to get blessing 992. Comment now if you're ready to close the door he refuses to shut. Archangel Michael says he will contact her one final time. It may be short. It may be accidental. But it will be the moment that decides his fate. And you will know. Not by spying. Not by begging. But by watching how your soul feels afterward, light or heavy, safe or shattered. She is going to expose herself by pushing too far. She will say something out of desperation. And that moment will bring everything to light. Your silence will be your shield. Your strength will be your sword. And heaven will do the rest. Type Amen to get blessing 818. You are nearing the end of this battle. A divine verdict is about to be declared. Either he chooses to love you in full, or the universe will remove him in pieces. You are not waiting to be chosen, you are waiting to see if he's wise enough to choose the miracle God sent into his life. Because once heaven says, enough, no apology can reverse the divine decision. Archangel Michael says, she made her final move. A message was sent with trembling fingers, not out of love, but out of fear. She senses her grip loosening and the space in his heart she used to occupy closing fast. She didn't confess love. She didn't ask for him back. Instead, she whispered an emotional trap, a reminder of something that once hurt him deeply. Because she knows his pain is the only door she still has access to. But she made a mistake. Because this time, you saw it. Or you felt it in your bones, even if no screenshot was shown. Type Amen to get blessing 959. He tried to hide it. Tried to pretend nothing happened. But you felt the shift, the distant hug, the distracted kiss, the way he looked away during a moment he should have been fully present. You asked nothing. But your spirit screamed everything. And that silence you gave him? That was louder than any confrontation. It was holy silence. Divine patience. It made him shake inside. Because he knows now, you're not blind. You're just merciful. Type Amen to get blessing 131. Comment if you've recently chosen silence over arguments because your heart was exhausted. She expected you to explode. But you didn't. And that's what terrified them both. Because a woman who no longer reacts, has already started detaching. The angel stood guard that night. While you lay awake wondering if you're just too sensitive, Archangel Michael was right beside you whispering, "No, you're awake. And what you're feeling is real." He sat in silence for a long time, thinking about how easy it was to lose your peace. and how hard it might be to earn it back. Type Amen to get blessing 363. She pushed too far. Sent one too many messages. Said one thing that crossed a boundary even he couldn't justify. And now, he's crumbling. Not because of her, but because he now realizes he almost traded a whole future for a half-dead memory. That night, he stared at your photo. Not hers. Yours. And the guilt swallowed him whole. Because he knows, you would have never done this to him. Type Amen to get blessing 622. Archangel Michael says, divine justice doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. And the whisper now echoes in his heart like a shout. He deleted her message, but it's too late. The damage was spiritual, not digital. And heaven has recorded it all. Not to punish, but to ensure you don't stay bound to confusion. There will be a moment, soon, where he finally speaks. Not in riddles. Not in half-truths. But in raw honesty. He will tell you everything. Not because he's brave, but because heaven will make him. Type Amen to get blessing 212. Comment now if you're ready to hear the full truth, even if it's hard. He'll start the conversation with, I never meant for it to go that far. But what you'll hear is, I never loved you enough to close every door. And that sentence will break you open, but only for a moment. Because after the tears comes the clarity. And after clarity comes your rise. She will fall silent. The moment you pull away from him, her power dissolves too. Because it was never really about him, it was about stealing your light. And once you step back, her game ends. Type Amen to get blessing 505. Archangel Michael says, a spiritual release is now in motion. Chains are breaking. Hidden ties are dissolving. And whether he chooses to evolve or remain tangled is now between him and God. You've done your part. You loved. You trusted. You stayed. But now, you surrender. Not because you're weak, but because he wasn't strong enough to protect what heaven gave him. And heaven is not in the business of letting its favorites suffer endlessly. Type Amen to get blessing 747. You'll feel lighter soon. As if a weight was lifted without anyone apologizing. That's the angels cleansing your path. That's the universe removing dead leaves from your soul. Let him watch you from a distance as you bloom. Let her see that her plan failed. Because no amount of old memories can destroy the destiny that belongs to you. Your healing is happening now. It started the moment you decided to stop fighting for someone who wouldn't fight for you.